rescue. You want to press people, you no book. Show me the million rescue. To save somebody, the million rescue.
Yeah. To deliver you from something, take you for something.
So you are the poor people. Rescue me, save. But we the old people. Rescue the million rescue. That will can't help me while here.
That's the same thing.
But Jota Bagara can't tell you the water. He can't put one making the water back to kill on money. You know they get people the pressure. Husband not working. I live in Joseph. I even made 1,000 a lot. I even made 400 a lot profit. Let me come and go. Children waiting for me. You are Jota Bagara. Where will be our result next year? We wouldn't even 1 year. Where will be our result the following year?
Okay, thank you so much. What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Patience Mane.
Patience Mane. You selling the market here?
Yes.
Are you selling it?
Yes.
But I'm selling it until I get feeling.
No market. I'm just son. I go look for Yancy.
You go look for the market, you see so?
I see food, call it food press. The way up, you not understand I was saying. When you go to there, you buy another press. When you come, you buy a different press. So the money I can put it back.
Also, the money you carry in, to the cold storage.
They put it back on market. Very rich.
How much for the face?
You buy snapper 14,000. What we used to buy 10,000, 8,000. Buying it for 14,000. One cartoon snapper 14,000. So we beg the government. We ask y'all to help us to beg our government. We say he came to rescue us. But the rescue that he doing now, we're not understanding it. And when they pull the police on the street, our boyfriend here, they're not giving nothing to us again. They say they can't rescue us. Why they cause a motor bomber running? They want not doing the one. They are breaking the government. We the poor people, they must find place for us that we want people to scare our clothes. They got poor people, they got rich people in the town. Some of all we not got north from the south go. And that basement we do, we not understand our children went to school. Our children, when we can't sell the market, we can't make a damn. They say rescue, but we not understand the rescue team. So they were taking them from all of the street for smoking, for drugs and things. But I think you see them now. All of them turn to Zoom. They can stay in a freeze.
So the drugs are to you?
A rapper now, a more than rapper.
Okay.
The drugs is rapper. Some of them almost 20% on the street because of Zoom.
The zombie drugs?
Yeah, the Zoom that they bring in Georgia back up. Because we are trying to sell our and what thing? Push. But now Zoom, when you say I see that you are so sticking at it. So we asking him to please, we the parent of our boss children, we ask him to please help us to make our children to leave Zoom. Because he said he came to change things. And no change, we not understand our land. Police people getting our keke motor back, harder. Police people beating our children on the street. They say they should register, they should become over there, walk over that, everything they do. But what people are home king? That just one thing we just getting dropping like that. Tell him, don't let Napa, tell him, sorry. We're not taking somebody out for the country. So I should tell our president to help with the poor people.
Selling money, how's the business?
We get God a great for
we don't let that we tell what take you for. But money ain't in the country now. In process.
For now, if I have to tell you that before we're all there,
what's the current monthly income of a governor and members of the board? Question.
So, currently, the salary is $10,000 gross. I am entitled to, I think, 7,000.
No, you acting governor, don't think now. You already paid.
Yes. But this is it. Since I was appointed acting governor on August 1, I have not attempted taking the salary, the benefits, neither have I moved.
No, that's not my question.
So after your
nominee,
I will.
You want to do pro bono fund. You want to do pro bono fund. What is the salary structure? The income, monthly income structure.
That's what I was saying. The salary, that's the gross, and a cash allowance of 7,800 gross.
You have not answered the question.
That's monthly. So are you asking for all the benefits of
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yes.
So the governor, again, gets a monthly salary of $10,000 gross, cash allowance of $7,800 gross. The governor is entitled to a housing allowance monthly. No, monthly is 5,000 gross. He's entitled to.
So little gross. Not counting. Yeah.
No, because the tax rate changes. So I can give you.
So you use 60,000 every year for housing allowance.
Yes, gross. So it's paid less taxes. So that's the gross.
So you got 10,000 gross, 7,000 gross.
Yes.
Then another 5,000 gross.
Yes.
So all the gross are going to give me a total.
Well, that's 15 plus 7. That's 22.
Okay, 22,000 gross.
Yes.
Net.
Net, I wouldn't say because I have not taken it, so I wouldn't know what is net. And again, the net would vary month to month. Yes, I pay that.
So you should know.
The monthly salary of the deputy is 9,000. And then the housing allowance 46,000 annually. There is a monthly cash allowance.
You are acting deputy governor as we speak. You've been there for how many months? Acting.
Since
You are acting deputy governor as we speak. You've been there for how many months? Acting.
since September 1st.
Since September.
Yeah.
You should know what you're earning monthly off hand already.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
I wouldn't know what is net. And again, the net would vary month to month.
Yes, I pay that. So you should know.
The monthly salary of the deputy is 9,000. And then the housing allowance 46,000 annually. There is a monthly cash allowance.
You are acting deputy governor as we speak. You've been there for how many months? Acting.
Since September 1st.
Since September.
Yeah.
You should know what you're earning monthly off hand already.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
No, but you come here across as a showman and you're not using the back. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah. And just like the governor said, we don't control the payroll. Okay?
How much are you receiving?
I get a net of my salary in my income. I mean in my account. And it varies from bank, from month to month.
You know, we made all of us in public service and especially this institution where we work, like a fund box. So when you're kind of, you don't take it serious because even us here, we won't be serious. You're in a position since September and you said that net you can receive, you know your gross, you know what you're making.
No, I show you my gross salary.
No, you didn't say it.
9,000 gross salary.
Yes.
And I said 46,000 as housing allowance. Gross. That's what I said.
That's not all.
And there's a cash allowance. That's what I was trying to figure out. It's around 2,000 is something I don't know the exact amount. Yeah.
Why will you care your whole way around or here? Why do you know what it is?
Because we didn't anticipate the question. So that's the reason why you have to think through it.
So you receive it monthly, you don't know. I can tell you my salary. Some of my friends that make up. I'm making $10,994 gross. $7,963 net.
I mean, I'm open. And like I mentioned here, earlier on, and I think Gilon said, well, you want to do what Kupuno said, that we went in there with a mindset of serving our country. As much as I need the compensation, because I got family to take care of, I have earned it, but I haven't taken a penny.
When confirmed, will you take the back pay?
Of course, Senator. I think I earned it.
So then don't take credit for it.
Well, let me take credit for it.
It's just a saving. You only enjoy your retirement now for IB. And after that process, you still take your money. But when you appear on that, go bonus. So you got bonus.
But Senator, I think most people, when they went in, for instance, I'm not using the car. I should be using the car. That's a benefit that's,
So you don't have transfer allowance?
I don't take a penny. They give you a car.
The way it be prorated?
No. The car is parked and I'm not using it. So that is a benefit to the institution in that way.
Well, you will get your money. You will get all the money back.
I will get the salary, but they're not going to give me money for using my personal vehicle for this period of 7 months.
When you get all that money, you don't need that money.
No, it's not needed. Other people benefit from this, and it's also actually not.
So before we go through this huge map that you're looking at, Aaron, basically there are also blueprints and designs.
What's the current monthly income of a governor and members of the board? Question.
So,
all right.
Currently,
designs of what the project will look like upon completion. So I just wanted you to come closer with the camera. Just come very close to the camera.
This is it.
So just sit for us to share.
Since I was appointed,
share with friends.
On August.
Share with family members.
I have not attempted.
So that we can all get ready to bring you what we are supposed to bring you. Again, let me use this time to welcome all of you distinguished people that have joined us. We really, really do appreciate your presence here, and it's a privilege for us to have you. I want to welcome my own brother, Richardson Kelvonic. How are you, sir? I appreciate your presence. Kelvonic, thank you for joining us. Men of Faith, how are you, sir? I want to appreciate and welcome you, men of faith. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Bobby Wheezy, thank you so much. Bobby Wheezy, we appreciate your presence. It's a privilege for us to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Always we see this as a privilege, whenever we have the opportunity, to be joined by you distinguished people. Yeah, we want to say we appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Let's go to our other feed and welcome our people here. We want to say welcome to Hashim Fambule. Thank you so much. Hashim said we play video time, no problem. We agree. But that's my brother right there. I want to say you are highly welcome. Hashim, thank you so much for joining us. And I appreciate all of you that are joining us from various parts, of the globe. I want to say thank you. We do appreciate your presence. And today is going to be a very interesting day. On every Friday is where we have our panel discussion. So, join us. Let's have a very wonderful time. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful time. And then at the end of the day, we will be able to bring you what we are supposed to bring you. Yeah. So just, bear with us. Just bear with us while we do what we are doing. So what we are trying to do right now is to share with others in the various chat rooms. That's what we are doing. We are sharing with others. But while we share with others, we want to play these videos for you. Listening to these people. Now, the reason why we always do this is so that you can see for yourself and hear for yourself the truth of what is happening. Yesterday, the things that these people condemned and said it was bad. This is not something that we should countenance. Today, it is the very same thing that these people are doing. Yesterday, these people condemned President Weah and said he was incompetent. His officials lacked the requisite education. They had the connection, They had a contact and everything. And when we gave them the opportunity, they will change the country in less than no time. But today, what we are seeing is even worse than what we had during the war. So all of this video, it will help to give you an informed background so that when we are discussing, you will know we are not just discussing because we want to talk. So let's go to this video while we are also sharing. Let's go to this video and listen to Rabok Pade. Listen to him.
You know, what's the rookie to the presidency? Got no issue personally with any of these people. I got some friends in the city, very good friends. Very good friends. Who I would not go against on the family of personal basis, no. But my country comes first. I choose my country first, and I don't compromise nothing with my country. For me, I've been very clear from the onset. From the onset, I oppose Mr. Weah. I've always been consistent. I've not vacillated in my struggle.
So kindly help us to share. We are also sharing. In the next 1 or 2 minutes, we are going to begin our discussion.
I tell Mr. Weah, I'm ready to be president. You don't take a man from the football field because he gets fame and give him presidency. No. The presidency is the highest office in the land. And Karl Marx said, Plato said, Socrates said, they all said, the head of the state must be reserved for our most senior, experienced, educated Edo. Yo, yo. We're not saying this. You don't give power to buffoons. You don't give power to tarots, to rookies. How will you take the president and give it to a rookie? Mr. Weah, all due respect, you know, what's the rookie to the presidency? This is the highest office in the land. And we celebrate him, we hate this man. For what? I name Monsieur. I'm not a girl by some woman. The man's man, what do I have personal issue? We own the country together. But this is about our country. Yeah. Mr. Weah has not been in charge. He talk most of the time in the studio singing music. When you raise issue, people think you enemy, they call you enemy, this, that. Look at what they did here. Look at the road fund. Millions of dollars corner from the road fund. When I talk only in the road fund, yeah, I wrote the American embassy or something. So don't go make caricature picture of the man. They go take video for me, put false video on me. So, oh, monsieur, the man doing new thing with small girl. You know the kind of women.
Having a bulletproof car, $1.4 million is not the personal legacy. Building mansions in Lofa County,
we are also doing the same. Legacy. So, you know, in just few seconds,
completing project I was doing in the old government. That anywhere you test your way, I said, "My project." No, what is President Barker's legacy? When will we start building this legacy? To look back to and say, "Yes, we had a great president from Foya, and this is what he did." Can the president point out to Sonny and say, because I went to America, this is what? No, to tell you the truth. Joe, I say I went to that Arab country, Babalu Gas Hospital. Right now, Paul Kennedy went there. Joey, I can point to it. Say anything you want to say. He may eat on the money, but he got hospital. Joey, I can say, because I went to the place, the French government gave us some $10 million. Joey, I can point to all the parks around the country. Hey, you can say what you want to say. I didn't support him, but he pointed to something. That's legacy. What would be President Barker's legacy? When you talk about HPX, when you talk about his visit to President Donald J. Trump, the giant of the world, what would be President Barker's legacy? What would the President Barker point to? And we're talking some serious thing here, then people then saying, why are you talking that? We were talking. Because you know, it's hard for me to lie, especially on this issue, because we want to set the country straight. The president has to start building his legacy. The president came home with zero, nothing today. Is there anything coming tomorrow? Are we seeing anything? We're boasting about the $1.8 billion. Hey, the $1.8 billion HPF something up for you. You know that, right? The Oma in the interior can understand good English. She's not eating good English. She's not going to bed on good English. Can we see something? Can we celebrate the president because of what the Driving a bulletproof car, $1.4 million is not the personal legacy. Building mansion.
All right, so let's do it. We are almost there. You know, we got to share. The information got to go across. So that's just definitely what we are doing. You know, the information has to go across. While the information is going across, these small video, they're going to help you to
Now we're
understand
getting
what we will be
hardship.
discussing.
Liberia, we're getting hardship. You're not even seeing hardship here. On the comment, except God at two. And Joseph Parker now change and submit himself before God and prostrate as a leader that he should know that God the one that made him president, not his popularity. And he put himself up and said today he president by himself. The nation will be in darkness on Joseph Newman Parker. The morning God gave me strong prophecy about the nation. Very, very strong prophecy about this nation. Joseph Newman Parker, you must change. People are suffer behind you. People are spend their money behind you. Today you president, you turn your back. Then you say God will answer you. There are people that are praying every day. They wake up from 1 a.m., 12 a.m. They pray. They are praying, crying. Then you say God will answer you. They must call nation prayer. You think I have to call nation prayer? Ask God for forgiveness. Go on the altar of Joseph Newman Parker, President Joseph Newman Parker. Go on the altar of God and ask God for forgiveness before God will liberate you in the country. You think fast and pray like baby thing, and somebody can't tell you, say, your pray nation prayer. Your pray nation prayer. Some people prayers are sin. They are sin because you have hurt people. President Joseph Newman Parker, you hurt people, they are bleeding in their hearts. They are crying in their hearts. Then you call for nation prayer. Go and ask God, President Joseph Newman Parker, with your household to forgive you. Let God forgive you. God must start where you from before you call for nation prayer. Fast and pray and lay down. And ask God, say, God, forgive me. For I have wronged my people. I have wronged people that stood with me. I have wronged a lot of people. God, forgive me. Ask for forgiveness. President Joseph Newman Parker, the issue is you're supposed to hide people. When you live in your children behind, you hiding people, you say, come on, they will call nation prayer. What nation prayer will hold? No pastor, no reverend, I even have that anointing.
Okay, so fellow Liberians, again, home and abroad, we want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you. We really, really do appreciate you. We really appreciate your presence here. We are sharing, we are sharing, we are sharing. So please help us to also share. We hope to be here for the next 2 hours. Again, those of you that you think you want to join the discussion, do us a favor. Send us a request, especially those of you who have a point you think of your own institution, that is the UP. We'll give you free route. We don't usually do it here, but we'll give you free opportunity, very free opportunity. We're going to give you. Yeah. We're going to give you free opportunity. I mean, a very free opportunity we'll give you so that you can join us, so that we can all have a wonderful time. You want to join us? No problem. We are here. We'll give you that opportunity. You understand? We will definitely give you that opportunity. So don't worry. Just, uh, request. Tell us in the comment section, that, yeah, we want to join the discussion. And I can guarantee you, we will give you that particular opportunity. We'll send to you the link so that you can join us. But again, like we always say, we want you to do us a favor. And that favor we want you to do us is be respectful of our view. You don't have to insult me. You don't have to use invectives on anybody. You can be very strong with your point. Eh? You can be very, very strong with your point. You can be, very strong with your point. That we appreciate. You don't have to agree with us. But when you come with the facts because we're going to quiz you. So it's a privilege for you. Come, let's discuss. In the comment section, you can join us there. Be as objective as you want to be, or be as political as you want to be. But what we'll not accept here is insult, because we have honorable people on this platform. This platform is not just, any kind of ordinary platform. We have distinguished people here watching us, so we will not allow you to just use invectives. Again, we are not afraid to block anybody. No, that we are not afraid to do. You know why? Because we are not in celebrity context, or we are not in cloud chasing contest. We come here to give the information and to give it out very, very, very well. And that we have been doing over the period. So we will not be able to compromise our value on this platform because we want to satisfy you. So when you use any invective, we get time for warning. We just block you. That's all we do. So please disagree with or be very harsh. But again, just respect the platform, respect the view, and we move on. Again, we are privileged to have here with us our own brother, Eric. Sir, salute to you, and you are welcome, Chief.
Thank you, brother.
So how's everything from your end? How's everything from your end?
God, I'm good, and I'm happy to join you guys today. Am I loud?
Very loud and clear. You are very loud
Oh,
and
okay.
clear.
That's good. My computer is misbehaving the camera,
No, sometimes.
so I
Yeah.
have to use the phone until I can sort it out. So my
Oh, okay.
apologies for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But you good, as far as you are good, and you'll
Okay.
be fine. You'll be okay.
Frank, how
My
you
brother
doing, man?
Frank.
I'm doing good, man. I missed a show. I wasn't on last week, but
I
anyway,
know.
I'm back, man. That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. How's the old man?
Yeah, she's fine though. She's upstairs in her room.
Yeah, my man. I was telling you the last time, make sure you get it, madam. And just be hammering the old man, you understand? We want to see the madam now, man. All day. We'll be
Yeah.
asking for the old man, yeah. You
Well,
still
I
enjoying
mean,
the old man food? man.
oh yeah. A matter of
I
fact,
know.
my aunt cooked today. She cooked some kind of potato grain, and she called Oma. The Oma went for it.
Oh,
She made
wow.
it, yeah, and stuff. I mean, the madam will kind of see the madam, but if not, man,
Hey, man.
my
If I
feet.
don't I run you by, you know what I mean? You ride BMW in the country here, the latest 2025 BMW. I want ride, you say, Madam, we can't, she will come. Anyway, I
No,
heard that I'm
no,
going to be
no,
profiling you now. But yeah, my brother, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for again joining us. I know we today have a lot of things to talk, and I'm very sure we'll be able to discuss it within the time, within the given period. I'm very sure of that. Again, to all of you who have joined us, we want to say welcome to all of you. We appreciate you. And kindly do us a favor. Hit for us the share button, like the show, share the show. One of the good thing about us here is that, and I want to thank each and every one of you. All of you share. All of you, you've been sharing. So continue to do that. Just hit the like, because when you like the show, it gave a Facebook algorithm, a kind of positive impression. So even when people trying to report a show, Facebook may not just take it down like that, because they will say no, I didn't think. So we're begging you, when you count the show, even if you want comment, just do us a favor. You can just hit the button, just hit the share button, or you can just hit the love, the like, and that's going to be okay. That's going to really, really, really help us. So please try to do that for us. You can like, just hit the like button and etc. You can do that, and that will help us. But again, we are going to be discussing a series of issues here. And all of you who are in the comment section, you can also join the discussion if you deem it necessary during the call time or even on live. We'll bring you in, and then we can all have a wonderful, wonderful discussion. But this is the first issue that we have here. The government of Liberia has increased taxes on the ordinary Liberian people. Today, we saw a communication where the government is saying that the CBL, that's the government, will be taking about, is it 2% or so on every transaction that will be carried out through the mobile, how you call, or exchange, or mobile money, whatever it is. They will be taking some 2%, I think 2 or 20% or so. And not too long ago, we saw an increase also in taxes, where some goods and services carry 10%, some carry 12%. We also saw what happened, at the level of the LPRC. the increase in the pump price of how you call petroleum fuel oil, we saw an increase. And here is a case where the government of Liberia is increasing taxes on the ordinary people, but we have a high unemployment. Things prices are very high. And I don't want you to believe me. I'm going to play this video and we start from our brother Eric. I want to play this video of Mr. Joseph Nyuma Boeka. I want to play this video of Mr. Boeka. What he said about the high cost of living. But yet these people, they say the increasing taxes on the Liberian people. So let's play what Mr. Boeka said here to you, and this will form part of our discussion. So let's listen as we play this.
Our domestic revenue remains limited, and many families continue to feel the weight of high prices. Transportation costs are too high. The prices of flour, sugar, and other essential goods continue to be a burden. Building materials are still expensive, making it hard for ordinary Liberians to construct houses and businesses. Right.
My brother Eric, this is what we have. The president of the Republic of Liberia took a platform on July 26, announced to the world and to the Liberian people that the prices of basic commodities are very high. Building materials, etc., are very high. But yet it is the same president who have instructed his lieutenants to increase the prices or the taxes on basic commodity. Today we are seeing from the central bank telling us that they are going to increase taxes. Any transaction now we do to our people in Liberia, we send in $10 or $20. They are taking pretty close to 20% of that money every transaction. I think 2% or so on that transaction.
Yeah.
Now, brother, where are we? Let's hear from you, sir.
The thing is, Frank, Prince, this statement is not coming from the opposition community. So, I mean, some people will say, "Oh, the politics, opposition will always inflame things." This is coming from the commander in chief. It's coming from the president of the Republic of Liberia. He is the only thing is he's saying this thing at a very at the last stage. When we started this thing in his first month in office, from the way he was proceeding, we knew that the economy would have crashed. And have we not been saying this thing here for years and I mean for months on this platform? And people think because we hate the government, we don't want Liberia to rise. No, it is the collective interest of all of us if and when Liberia leaped from her current stage or state that she in, because it's deplorable. So to have the president of the Republic of Liberia admitting to the unbearable hardship that we have, this sends a message to Liberians in general, and in particular unity partisans, that this is a serious issue. It is a serious issue. Where my disappointment comes in is that you cannot say the hardship becoming unbearable, or it is unbearable for our people, and you decided to set up a committee and give the committee 45 days. What will happen in between the unbearable 45 days? People will lose their lives. Businesses will turn into catastrophic. Hospitals will have no drugs. Prices will continue to skyrocket. 45 days is more than a month. Why do they need 45 days to advance recommendation? Besides, let's ask the hard questions. Don't we have, quote unquote, an arrest agenda for inclusive development? What happened to that arrest agenda? Didn't that agenda propose tangible solution to our economic woes? Why is the Unity Party ignoring their own arrest agenda that they spend thousands and thousands of dollars to produce? Let's scratch it a step forward or further by saying the Ministry of Commerce has that responsibility to regulate prices. If currently, according to the president, prices are out of control and moving through the roof, why is the Ministry of Commerce managers or ministers are still keeping their jobs? Why is the president not dismissing them? Or why he didn't transfer that authority to them or strengthen their capacity to mitigate the crisis that is at hand? Why come up with a 45 days committee? In addition to that, the president can be insensitive to the plight of the people. It's wrong. Look at his own lifestyle. Let's put his lifestyle all it here. Let's scrutinize it for a while. The president drives in a car that costs the country more than $1 million. And you complain, or he's admitting to the unbearable hardship. What do sensitive presidents do? They cut down waste and abuse and redirect that needed resources to tangible issues that will benefit the country. The president went and said he called for fast and prayer to bring down the hardship in the country. Which country? Which country in the world left poverty as the result of prayer? God has given us wisdom. We have education. We have the technical know-how. We have resources. He blessed, God overwhelmingly blessed that country with abundance of resources. What are we doing with our resources? Why go back to God and cry to remove poverty? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But look at what he even did. You call for prayer and fasting. Liberian people, unexpected holiday. Economists have said every time you shut down the country for a holiday, you are losing millions of dollars because the circular flow collapses as the result of your fast and prayer, or as the result of your holiday, because people not working, people not trading, businesses are shut down, people losing hours, they're losing resources. So what Bwaka has done, he has further increased the already unbearable hardship on the Liberian people by saying that they should be a harder day. We lost millions of dollars, United States dollars we're talking about here. And then at the eve of the day, what did he do? He threw a very lavish wedding anniversary. 3 years ago, we never heard about Bwaka celebrating wedding anniversary. The last 6 years of President Weah administration, Joe Bwaka never celebrated any wedding anniversary. He never celebrated a birthday. These days, he celebrates a great-grandchildren birthday. He celebrates his grandchildren birthday. In fact, he takes it a step forward by even celebrating the graduation, the happy day, and all kinds of days, just to waste resources. On the day that he should have sanctified himself for the quote-unquote fast and prayer, it was the day that he used to drink profusely, marry, make, dine and wine in Liberian taxpayer money. And the next day for fast and prayer, the president appeared very drunk and dizzy, or how they call it, he was suffering from hangover. Go to the clip when he went to the ERWA roundabout where a few Liberians gathered to pray. They told the president, Mr. President, close your eye. The lady they conducted the prayer. In the name of Jesus, amen. Prayer ends. The president eyes stay closed. The president stays standing. Mr. President, the prayer is over. Mr. President, the prayer is over. He's still standing. Weak. Daisy. How can you do that to our country? How can you do that to our country? So it's just being insensitive. It's being wicked. You came to power. You dismissed more than 5,000 Liberians because you said they belong to this political party that you don't love. They're not in your party. What have you done to the country? 7 pricing, according to our household stats, 7 pricing is equated to to one person that is employed in Liberia. So if you dismiss 5,000 human beings, multiply 5,000 times 7. Thousands and thousands of people are being directly impacted by your wicked policy. And today hardship in the air, and you come in and say, oh, hardship, we should go fast and pray. It doesn't work that way. Now, the mobile money company in Liberia, they have also worsened the condition by increasing 2%. So that means if you send $5 US to anybody in Liberia through mobile money, that person is no longer getting $5, they're getting $3. That's what it means. Technically. So you can be this insensitive to the unbearable suffering of our people. It is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. We would have thought that by now there would have been policies, there would have been discipline on the part of government officials to mitigate this crisis, but instead things are getting worse. Patriot Honda generator is being paid more than like it's a pay of around maybe 50 civil servants in our country, because some people making around $150, $75, all that kind of stuff. His generator takes home $350 US every month for doing nothing. For doing nothing. So it's a sad story. Wow. It's a very sad story. And the impact of what is happening in Liberia will be felt on some of us that are out of the country. School fees are up, rents are up, electricity bill up, everything is up. Everything is up. So if you send like $200-300 in Liberia now, it's worthless. It's worthless. The US rate, they got no control over it. Some serious country, the president will resign in shame. They will resign in shame because you took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. That Constitution says the essence of the state is for the happiness of the people. Are the people happy? No. The survivability is at stake. It's at stake. But the president wants to be lavish. He flies around in private jets, something that he criticized when he was in the opposition. Today he goes to Lofa in private jets. Out of his trip, private jet. And he breaks about that. He wearing Rolex watches that cost $50,000 to $75,000. Everywhere he goes, he makes sure that people, see his watch. He got his hands in the air, the hands that he can barely lift. So it's a serious and a tragic situation that we have, and I'm not sure if there's a way out. I honestly believe there's not a way out. Things will get worse. Things will get deplorable. The country will collapse. The country will collapse. The economy has already collapsed. This is not my saying. Take the word of the president that you just played. The economy has collapsed.
Definitely. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. The country has collapsed. But before going to our brother Frank, you said something here which is very profound. And I don't know, because the Ministry of Commerce is that arm of government that is responsible for, regulating, let's say, the basic commodity, so to speak, especially on the Liberian market. We have the Liberia, Liberia, some kind of marketing authority or so that is supposed to work along with the Ministry of Commerce, and we get the Liberia Chamber of Commerce, all the other small different institutions that are supposed to work in order to make sure that prices of basic commodity are regulated on the Liberian market. Now, with this particular pronouncement from the president, setting up, a committee that will be headed by the vice president to just look into the suffering of the Liberian people, you think he has lost confidence in those ministries or in those agencies or those arm of government that is responsible to report to him or be able to, ensure that the prices of things are regulated on the market? You think he has lost confidence, or, they are not? What do you think about that?
Those institutions are incompetent. If the wearing, we would not have arrived at this stage. They made a better economy than President we are inherited. They made a strong country than President we are inherited. And they are running the country into the ground. Those institutions are incompetent. He's aware of that. But what measures or action is he taking to mitigate that? Zero. Instead, he leaves them in the position and he calls on a vice president who has no technical skill to head a committee that will report to him in whole 45 days.
Wow.
What is normally in this kind of thing, you assemble your best brain. You bring together
Definitely.
technocrats to
Experts.
do the work, not your vice president who is kissing up to you. What is he going to write in a report? What is his understanding about the social economic issue of our country? He's not a technocrat. This man has been leashing on the state resources for the last 10 to 15 years. He does nothing for himself. He doesn't think for himself. His office is being funded by taxpayer money. People tell him what to say, the right his speeches. He's not an academic or a technocrat person who's coming to think. He depends on people. So what people say to him, what he coming to do? You need somebody with an oversight expertise, hands-on approach to overhaul these things. Since the president has admitted that all of his financial arms, they have collapsed. And it is sad that he is not taking action against them. Zero action. They should have been fired by now.
Thank you.
You also have an economic management team. What happened to that team?
Sure.
So this is where we are, Prince.
Thank you so very kindly. My brother Frank, the government of Liberia has increased taxes on the ordinary people. Unemployment is very high in Liberia. The government is dismissing people left, right, inside, outside, above, and this, that. Motorcyclists that are leased used to help to, somebody would say, lubricate the local economy. These people are being denied of fending for themselves. Thousands of them are no longer plowing or using their back as a means of income. Mobile phone, they stand now to go buy data. In fact, data people all not join us on the stealing now. You go buy something and lay far before you get on the internet. It after 10 minutes, bang, it go off. They say you go check it. They say, oh, the money finished. To our insult to injury, government of Liberia is saying 2% on every transaction, mobile money transaction. My brother, let's hear from you. Where are we? What thing happened to the government here? You have the floor, my brother.
Thank you so much, Brother Prince, and thank you so much, Eric, for that deliberation. And thank to the audience, that are watching as well, and the audience that will watch the recording as well. Let me first start with the president, what he said about the GDP. Maybe sometimes he uses the word GDP, or they use the word GDP and they do not understand what GDP means, right? But it just means gross domestic product. Now, gross domestic product, it is not an income generator internationally. It is not an income generator by donation of NGO or other entity. It is an income generator by the total population of that country. Now, how do you generate those GDP? Now, it can come by working through the private sector and you getting paid, right? It can come by working through government entity, and it can also come by individual having their own businesses and things. And you see, one of the reasons why you have census, right? Whether in Liberia every 5 years or 6 years, whatsoever term limit they have or term, that is in the constitution. It is not just done based on election time to know how many population that you have in certain district or precinct or locality, so that you can know what number of precinct or people to send in that area. Now, I think part of the reason why the census is done as well is to be able to match the gross domestic product. Now, if you know the number of population that you have, right, that will also determine you to know, the number of gross domestic product you are producing. Now, if the population are not in line or equilibrium with the GDP, then you know that people are not working. That means GDP are not being produced by the people. Either people are being laid off, people no job, and those things. That's how you measure your GDP and see where the country is going. Now, again, but for the president to come and talk about, how GDP or the gross domestic product is going low or is not in line with the population of the country or what they are expecting, is very laughable. Now, what makes it laughable here is, as a leader, as a president, and now, most people will say God mean government of the day. And I don't dispute that. I believe that's what God mean. Now, I'm not talking about relation aspect. Now, for the president to come to criticize the GDP of high inflation and those things is very laughable. And it simply means he's laughing at his own government. Now, how do you expect GDP to go high and not to go down when you came and you lay off people? How are you going to generate GDP? Because in order to generate those GDP, right, you have to have people working, and those people that are working will be able to, how they call it, or contribute to the state through taxes and stuff. But you came on a job and you lay people off, you took people off, all right? And you say you want to have small number of, how they call it, employee or government or whatsoever you call it. You turn people down. So where do you expect the GDP to come from? GDP will come from nowhere. Now, some of the area that GDP will come from, you see, that's why when they said over the years, they said President Weah knew nothing, President Weah, and then all those that support President Weah, or they got mud in their brain and so forth and things. I can say to them, we have proven them right? And they are proving themselves wrong, because the men that did not know anything about leadership, as they said, the men that knew nothing about leadership, this was the man that came and said, no, in order to have GDP, in order to generate GDP, and these are some of the reasons President Weah was also able to carry on some project. Now, and these are the same opposition during President George Manuel Weah time. They said every project that man did, they said it was the country money, and there was no need to praise President Weah because those money were being generated by the country, by the citizens. So, in other words, he's just doing services for the people. Now, I say to them, even before I continue with my point, what is wrong with the country money today? So, are you telling me the only time the country had money was the time President George Manuel Weah was in power? Now he left. Where are the country money? Because if those development that President Weah did, they were all the country money, what are you doing with the country money today? What are you doing with the country resources? You said it was the nation or the people, the citizens that were paying taxes, and those taxes or those money were being used for development. Now, we say to them, where are those taxes? Where are those money? Where are the Liberian people money that President George Manuel Weah used, that you said that you are not using today? You see, these are the same thing President George Manuel Weah saw. When he came in, he said to himself, in order to have a higher GDP, in order for the equilibrium of the GDP to go upward and downward, is to keep these people in power, is to keep these people on their job. Because, for example, the men that do not have car, right, or do not have motorbike, or the man that is not a representative or a senator, the men that have to take the keke, the men that have to take the motorbike, if that man is getting his 150, his 200 per month, that man will be able to save money and calculate, okay, you know what? This month, right, before I can get paid, this is my car pay. That man may even have a motorbike, hire a motorbike, where every money that motorbike that keke man will carry. So that keke man, through that man that is getting that $100 or $200, that man is also getting paid through, right? That keke is also getting paid through that man that is getting $100. But you came and took that man that was getting $100 or the $200 out of the job. Now, it did not just affect that man or that individual, right? It also affect, right, the keke and the Keke family. It also affects the motorbike rider and the motorbike rider family, right? And even friends that are to that motorbike men that were also supporting, getting that support. So it's a whole lot of things that Bucket came and did to his government, and then he's not recognizing it, and he's asking people to go and pray. Look, the truth here is not everything can fit into the formula of prayer. Even Jesus Christ himself said it. He said, you have to work. He said, work, or how to call it, prayer without work is a dead faith, or faith without work is a dead faith. You can pray, you can fast, you can do everything you want to do. As long as you are not working towards what you are fasting for, you are not going to get it. As long as you are not knocking, you are not searching what you are fasting for or praying for, you will not get it. So not everything that fit into the formula of prayer, especially, you cannot lay people off job. And then that money not coming in, right? And then you expect the country to move forward. The people you live off job, how you expect them to live? How you expect them to contribute to the country? Because those people that was getting $100, $200, they were also going to the stores to buy. And in other words, the money was also circulating within the community, within the country at large. The money was circulating. But all those people you laid off, they can no longer go to those stores. And then what's going to happen? If inflation go or high, now, in a country like Liberia, where you cannot regulate prices, you have the government have no control over the regulation of prices, right? Individuals will now price their goods, all right, as the way they want to price it, because it is hard to get. It is in other words, it is on demand, right? And a country that like Liberia that cannot produce, that cannot feed herself, what you think going to happen? You have a government that can bring nothing into the country. Liberia is a nation that live on donation, that live on import of food that even we ourselves that we eat. You have a government that cannot import. You have a government that cannot contribute, right? How do you expect that country to move forward? And that is why when you check the nation, right, out of 5 million people, the GDP cannot match to the 5 million people, because you have 500,000 people who are unemployed, who are not contributing, who are not buying, who are not paying taxes. For example, even in the US, when the government have more people, all right, on unemployment benefit, it takes money from the government pocket, because the people that are working, that are paying taxes, instead of the government taking those money for other developmental projects, the government then have to take that money to distribute it to people who are unemployed. And that is why, even as that, the government set a limit, all right? For example, after 6 months, for example, you should be able to find a job to go back to work, because the government cannot continue feeding you, because it is also putting hole in the government pocket, because the government relies on those taxes. So the government always make sure to give money, okay, or loan to small businesses, to other businesses, in order to improve their business. And then you pass to places and you will see now hiring, or help wanted. That means they want you to go to work, because the more people work, the more money the government get. So the educated people should know this better. You cannot come on a job that you say you came to rescue. You start laying people off, and then you want to complain about inflation. You lay people off, and then you want to complain about the country being tough. You lay people off, you want to complain about thing prices going up when you can't produce nothing. These were some of the things that we advocated for. We knew that a government was coming. If we are not mindful and skeptical of who to choose, we knew a government like this was coming to take us back instead of moving forward. We were on a right track of President George Manuel Weah. When they sat down, 176 or 75 whatsoever issue, complex issue of Liberia. It was very shameful, all right? Very shameful and disheartening to say it was President Josh Weah who was the cause of the issues that we face in Liberia. How can you run a politics like that? How can you do that for God's sake, knowing very well that if you come to power, right? If you come to power, the same thing you accuse this man for, the complex issue you accuse this man for, it will also fall on you, all right? And the fact is, President Josh Weah was in a better position, as we can see now. The Liberian people can see. We are not here speaking or saying what we want to say, right? But it is the reality. The Liberian people can see that President Josh Weah was in the best and better position to move the country, to take the country forward, because under his administration, and according to census or statistics or street interviews that have been done, it is the people themselves who have spoken, who have been speaking, that the truth is, during President Josh Weah time, people went in the market with their goods, they bought their goods, and by the end of the day, their goods also were being bought by people. And then they went home with money. They could pay their susu. But now these days, they can no longer pay their susu because no one wants to buy. How will people buy when nobody working? The more people work, the more employment, the more the money circulate, and the more purchase go on, and the more the government, all right, the more the government earned more income in gross domestic product. Now, you see, for a government to succeed, let us be frank here. We may have our issues with Trump, but the reality here is, don't be fooled. Don't be misled. Trump, Biden, Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, all of them, they communicate when it comes to the national interest of the United States. The only thing you don't see, and which of course you may not see or you will not see, because Trump is at the end of the day, he is the leader. So he will be the one to come out there to speak. But the truth is, these people run the country behind the scene. They communicate to Trump what is in the best interest of their country. You think they will just sit or they just go and sit, because at the end of the day, they know whatsoever Trump do, it will affect their children, their generation. So they're not going to sit and close their mouth. They'll all work together. Now, Trump may not agree with them on some policy, okay? He may not agree with them on some policy on a business level. And those are the things that you will see they'll be talking about and the media will be talking about, because those are just basic things that Trump does not agree with them. But when it comes to the national interest of this country, these people run the country behind the scene. Now, you have a government that came in with a hate. You have a government that came in on all their cabinet, all their followers. Already some people individually hated President Josh Weah, and they took that hate to the presidency, all right, to a man who can barely walk, to a man who can barely breathe, to a man who can barely, or urinate when he wants to urinate. You have to remind him, okay, that, oh, sir, it been 1 hour, it been 2 hours. Let me take you to the bathroom because I know you want to, you want to ease yourself. To a man of that kind, you take him and put him in power. Now, people came into the government with their own hate. And that is what I can tell you, Prince, before I end on this. That is what I can tell you. Because they have no connection. That is why they are going with individuals' development. Because they don't have the money to do large skills development. They do not have the money to do large skills development. That is why you don't see them breaking ground like the way President Josh Weah did it. Because when he traveled, he had connection, and he was able to get connection, and he came on a large skills and he broke ground. And that is why these people are not breaking ground, but they will be here doing some mini project and then call the president to go and delegate those mini projects and then projects that were initiated and funded by the former president, they will use the current president go and delegate these projects. And it's been 2 years now, there have been no policies passed, because when Bucket, before he came to power, he told the Liberian people he already understood what the Liberian people were going through. All right. He got the Liberian people's circumstances, their issues, everything that they was going through. And that is why he said in 4 months, Liberia will be a different nation. All right. Liberia will be a nation that nobody will want to leave the country to go outside to fight for greener pasture. In fact, Liberia will be a nation that people will want to come to Liberia to fight for greener pasture. Those were the meaning of Bucket words or campaign messages when he told us in 4 months, Liberia will be a nation of destination. All right, that anybody will want to come. But today, where is that nation? And they are the same people that are coming out telling us, no, Prince, you were right of what you said, that President Bucket was not a presidential material. They are telling other platforms, they are telling us, you guys were right. We insulted you people. We said you people have mud brain, but it seems to be now it is a true. Their mother TV or their father TV station, they are all now online flamboyanting around and saying, all right, President George Mane Weah have legacy, and President George Mane Weah legacy are all around in the country. What I want to end on here is President Bucket. I'm not what I call him president. Bucket brought this on himself. In Africa, to succeed as a leader, you never go against your predecessor, because your predecessor left foundation. They left people there. They left connection. Why you think when President George Mane Weah, you think he never had problem with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Oh, I'm not going to sit here and say President George Mane Weah never had problem with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, because President George Mane Weah won 2 elections, all right, on a plain ballot box. But yet they never gave it to him. So the truth is, personally, he had his own issue with Ellen. But when he came to power, he did not bring that personal issue to the presidency. He did not do it. I can remember one day he was coming to address the nation. He passed to Ellen first. In fact, he was late. So when he came, he apologized to the audience that the reason why he came late, he had to pass to the former president to give homage. He had to pass to the former president to be oriented. All right. And that's the reason why he came late, because he wanted to succeed. Now, he had his connection, but equally so, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to have connection that he needed to use those connections. But President Bucket, not a presidential material, he came and forgo all of those things for his hate that he had against the 2 former presidents. And that is why the country is like this. We can remember when Ellen told us vividly, this country is done for doom. And we said it here. And
thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. You know, my people, to add my voice to the many voices who have very, very well intellectually, laid the point, and I'm just going to pick from them and add. It is stupid on the part of Boega. And when I even want to say Boeka or Boega, to behave the way he is behaving. No president with a mind to be able to alleviate the people of poverty will behave the way Boeka is behaving. The first thing is that Boeka took on power with a platform. Boeka had a platform. In his platform, he outlined those issues that he was going to tackle. Before even coming to become president of the Republic of Liberia, we can play a video here. Boeka told us that the people of Liberia, they were suffering. When they were buying bag of rice under President Weah for $13, Joseph Numa Boeka said, no, it's too high. When the people of Liberia was paying, for example, $50 in transport bus or car, or how you call it, taxis, from Douala to Broad Street, Joseph Numa Boeka said, no, it's too expensive. When President Weah was paying these doctors and nurses $500, some of them taking $1,000, Boeka said, no, They're supposed to harmonize their pay. So Boyka came already knowing the problems because that's what they campaign with. Hold the other one on this, hold the other one on that. President, we are suffering. The people are Liberian suffering. The people ain't get food to eat. They go out down on the street. They want on the street. So Boyka come to the presidency, or he's supposed to come to the presidency with a blueprint to be able to solve the problem. That's what my brother Eric said. They had this particular agenda called the arrest agenda. The arrest agenda basically supposed to address the cogent needs of our people, those issues that our people were faced with, the problem that our people were faced with. So, Babweka even crying, they tell us that the people ain't got no agenda. That's the first thing. Because if you have agenda, the agenda basically look at the problem. Look at the problem the people are faced with, and there are recommendations and alternatives that you have in solving the problem. You cannot tell me that unemployment in Liberia will be high, but you're increasing taxes. Is that not stupidity, my people? You cannot tell me that most of our people are out of job, but yet they stay, especially few handful of you, are living flamboyant life. But you are increasing taxes. Where are the taxes going? In the Western country here, we found ourselves in the Western world, we see where our taxes going. For example, hospital. Now, the place where I God forbid. Even my hair hurting, I don't need to hair my hair. I just pick up my phone and call. Ambulance will come for me. They'll put me inside, carry me. Later on, they finish treating me. They will send bill behind me. What I can pay, I will not pay. Will be 14 on one small. Some kind of organization will pay that money for me. Today, because of the taxes that I am paying, as soon as I go to my window, I will pick up phone and call 911. In less than 2 minutes, they will be all over. They will be all over. Because of the taxes I'm paying, I can sit down here for 24 hours. My internet, it will not bappy. My life will not bappy. But fellow Liberian, this is just to tell us that Boyka and his gangster and his criminals, these people have no idea to solve the people's problem. No idea. Because like I said earlier, the Ministry of Commerce has a statutory responsibility over the supervision of basic goods and services that come in, in the country. To monitor them, see what is going on. How best they can be able to talk to these, how you call importer or whatever, to make sure that the prices of these things are at least to a level where people can afford. But Boyka telling us that he's setting up committee basically is to tell that and I get no idea to do things. And in fact, when people set up committee, you know who you bring on the committee? When you see any government or president setting up a committee to address the hardship, he bring in experts, like my brother Eric said. He bring in experts. These are not ordinary people that you just take somebody who just, for example, senator, you just take them and bring them. No, you bring in your best. That's why the president get economic advisor. Joseph Numa Boyka is just a disgrace to himself. This man has the highest level of advisor ever in the history of the Republic of Liberia. But up to now, they know what happened. He stay setting up committee to solve the problem. You know what people can get advice for? For example, advisor on economic issue, advisor on security issue is to advise, is to brief the president. So Joseph Numa Boyka is so confused, and this man is so incompetent to the extent that all of these agencies that are supposed to help, he has forgotten all of them and take an incompetent Jeremiah Kuhn, who said he's a bare ball to Joseph Numa Boyka, who has basically no expertise. You think when things are happening, for example, I give you an example. When there is any problem, let's say in the security fee, they'll not go call people who are producing rest to come discuss it. They will call security people. Security expert will come and sit down around the table because it talks about security. That's how it's looking like. When, for example, when there is a drought or maybe shortage of certain commodity or maybe production has dropped in food, for example, you know who they will call to come sit down on the table? They will call the experts in those areas. The agriculturalists, the people who get basic knowledge of this thing, they will call them, they sit down on the table and say, how can we solve it? Then they bring idea. But how will you say the Liberian people suffering? Then you take the vice president who we don't know even his area of specialty. We don't know. You bring that kind of man, then you say, can't sit down on the table so that you can be able to advise what for us to do. Is this not gross stupidity, my people? Which one of you, your son or your daughter or you yourself will be sick? And he said, let me go to the carpenter shop so the carpenter can go that knows what's happening to me. Does that happen? That's just what Joseph Numa Boyka did. That's just what Joseph Numa Boyka did. We get serious issue. So where are his economic advisors? The men that get advisor in everything, even to go in the bathroom, get special advisor to advise him to go in the bathroom. Okay. So all of these advisors that Joseph Numa Boyka get around, so they get function. They not know what they're doing. That's what basically it means. So it means that these people, their eyes have been closed, they have been sleeping. Because the reason why these advisors are around the president is to remind the president of what is happening. That's why you see every time there are meetings, the president will be able to meet as they call on the kitchen cabinet. That kitchen cabinet there that they can be talking about, there are people then were close to the president, can advise the president. So in that kitchen cabinet, you get your advisors. So these advisors, basically, they are there to observe what is happening and to advise the president appropriately. For example, the security advisor to the president, he said, our own Brabi, how you calling Kofi Wu? He will be able to sit down and say, Mr. President, based on the advices or based on, the way things are going, Josephine Sewon, you are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Based on the way things are going, Mr. President, security-wise, we need to do X, Y, Z, and Z. The economic advisor will come and brief the president, Mr. President, from what we are looking at, the prices of basic commodity are increasing. There is a need for us to do X, Y, Z, and Z. That's how it's supposed to be. But because Joseph Numa Boyka is incompetent, this old man, he does not know nothing about government. He was just a pure liability who, by the grace of God, managed to find himself through the blessing of Kekula Poto. He has run on that to reach where he is. So they may even get time. This is Joseph Numa Boyka setting up a team headed by the vice president. They're going to come after 48 days. What will the people be doing? You know what an emergency? No, what the president said was an announcement of an emergency. Basically, the president said there is a state of emergency on the way things are going in Liberia. That's what he said. Sometimes people don't need to say out to say there's a state of emergency. But the president himself outlined, just like Numa Boyka outlined, how people can afford to buy rest, transportation going up, basic this. He said everything is going up. So, by virtue of those analysis and pronouncement, in other words, the president was saying there is a state of emergency. Things are very difficult. State of emergency, you say the people must take 48 days to go and come with problem, or to come and can't advise you whether the people suffering or the people not suffering. So, where are your advisors? Where are those people that you claim they are around? You get the best brain. Because you people boast of experience now, and that's why you all said yesterday, no, President, we have brought people who are not experienced. We get the best brain. We bring in our best according to what they said. You listening to our brother, how you call himself, how you call Rabok Pade. Rabok Pade said they get the best, the cream de la cream, that what the government get. So where are the cream de la cream that we can see them? We go 1 year, the people still continue to suffer. That they will go take, how you call some kind of buffoon, and say, come, advise, go and ask questions. My people, it's a problem. When we tell you that Joseph Numa Boyka is an idiot and a failure, this old man has only come to enrich himself. This old man is only ensuring that he get what he get in your pocket and forget about you, the Liberian people. You all say we lying. And you see it now. And you see it now. No, and you see it now when we talk other people, oh, your pa can lie. Oh, your pa can. Let Joseph Numa Boyka there. He said,
You are muted, Prince. You are muted.
yeah, it's it. The men that they boast all, they say, oh, the men get all of the technical know-how. The men get plenty of experience in government. They men can do this, they men can do that. Let here now, he can't. To even choose somebody who will be able to bring out a kind of very clear report and recommendation, you go choose Jeremiah Kun. What think Jeremiah Kun will do there? What expertise does Jeremiah bring to the table? So he had advisor, Joseph Numa Boyka advisor that he having. They are not competent, strong, capable, and potential enough to advise it. that Jeremiah Kun, who is also struggling, that Jeremiah Kun you bring to advise you. Well, what kind of nonsense is this? How did we arrive to this place that we have reached? How? How come? That you take an incompetent old man who always run away from responsibility. This man is noted for running away from responsibility. Oh, we saw it now. Doing the Ellington. The old man here will say all the bad thing that Ellen do it. He never want to take on the responsibility to say, look, I will confront this thing here on. He run away from all responsibility. He put all the problem on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Is it that Ellen? The bad one that Ellen. This is the kind of person that you gave power to. These are men even doing their own opposition. The people say, okay, everybody time to lead the opposition here. And how you call the other person tanker, the person lead. And the other person tanker, the person lead. It reach to a time, it make confusion. If you have a confusion, it bear grammar, it bear G. It cause problem in the whole place. He caused problem in the whole place. In the whole CPP, break it down. The people say, okay, let us be able to test the men to know what are the men here. He has the ability to be able to help to move the whole opposition CPP forward. The paper called no, it bring heavy noise there. No. The whole CPP it break down. The whole CPP broke down. This is the kind of man that you gave the country to. A man who stole from LPRC and Amos Sawyer sacking. Oh, I can see some of my brother on the Reddit say, oh, I never worked to LPRC before. No, I've never worked in government. You read my lip. I say I've never worked in government. I've been doing my private thing, been doing one or two things. I never work in government. You learn all your government period, not see my name there. And he will never appear there. But Joseph Newman Boyka is on record. Amos Claudius Sawyer doing water. Imagine water and government. They sacked Joseph Newman Boyka. Amos Sawyer government where we're not too much that you call Sonny democratic like that. They sacking. For waiting the sacking, he stole fee oil. They sacking. Fee oil that what he stole. He was down there doing a uno koyokaya thing. The people look at him for long and say, no, oh man. Imagine water government where you know the whole country divide. They get Greater Liberia and they get how you call Amos Sawyer Uno Liberia. If they can sack men like Joseph Newman Boyka, that the man you take your get our country to, and you see how we suffering now. So Joseph Newman Boyka ain't get time. The man who complain that the people suffering, then he is increasing taxes. Look at what is happening. 2% taxes on every mobile transaction. You know what you're talking about? You know what you're talking about? My people, you know what you are talking about?
And let me just add on this, Prince.
Yeah.
About even that statement, you know, the video you play from that by that guy, and you see Liberian, we have to be very careful sometimes, you know, about people that we interact with who act like they're speaking on our behalf. This idiot was trying to even quote from Alexander the Great, trying to quote from Socrates. He couldn't even quote, you know, the quotation. And he said, Alexander the Great, Socrates, all those great men that came, they said, you can't take the state and give the state to a buffoon. That was what they said. You can't take a state and give the state to a, like, he did not quote. He did not give the quotation. Those people don't just quote, you know, like vague. All right. So he knew nothing of what he was saying down there. But anyway, let's just say this, right? According to him, those people say you cannot take the state and give the state to a buffoon. But the truth here is, if we want to compare, that do comparison now, which of course I know it is not something that I'm supposed to do, because Barker in any way can never be compared to President George Manneh. We are never, all right, because the achievement, all right, of President George Manneh, Barker can never even come and ride in his next life. But the truth here is, let's compare them. All right. So he's saying President George Manneh was not the kind of person who had no idea about running a government or running a nation. But the truth of the matter here is, this was a man, not only Liberia, but I can say this man governed an entire nation, or let's say not nation, but the entire continent. He was an ambassador in the United Nations, where the United Nations recognized him. So when you call him an ambassador, it is not for, you know, it is not in vain or empty, you know, names. But you call him Barker and Ambassador Barker, it is vain, because he have never said anywhere as an ambassador. And another thing here is, Everything that President George Weah have done, he has succeeded in it. In all his entire life, he has succeeded, and that is why because he succeeded, that is why even into his presidency, none of his children ever work in government. None of his children ever have position unlike Boakai. All right, because his life, it is a testimony to many Liberians and to many citizens of the world. This man's life is a testimony because this was the man also who fought, all right, to give life to Liberia, for the world to recognize Liberia. Like, you know what? We know a citizen. We know as citizens of the world. And this is President George, we are sorry that his country is facing issue. And because of that, they came to his aid. But now, let end up that because of time. But look at the man they said they gave the country to. This man, his entire life, he have never done any meaningful thing in Liberia, even for himself. Okay, his career in agriculture, he don't have farm to feed people because that's his expertise, that's his area, that's what he went to school for. All right, but he have nothing in Liberia that can feed people. Now he told us the reason why they failed because they had no idea about implementing policy. They have no idea because they did not go to school about policy implementation. That's why they failed, because they did not implement any policy to rescue or to redeem the Liberian people for 12 years. I mean, just in the North Shore. All right, there are many that comparison that we can give, but you look at this kind of man, you gave him the presidency, and then today you telling us President George Weah was not a presidential material. Boakai was a presidential material. Now, President George Weah is not even criticizing Boakai government. It is Boakai and his cabinet and his officials that are criticizing their own government, saying their government has failed. Not even the opposition.
Thank you so much. So, fellow Liberian, to conclude on this, you are seeing what is happening. Companies that are even supposed to be paying taxes, Boakai is giving them long tax break. But then the ordinary people who Boakai have taken jobs from, and is not even providing employment for them, these are the people that you're lavishing hard taxes on them. This is unfair. But again, Liberians, all we do is to continue to open your eyes to the reality. Liberians in Guinea, and I want to start this from you, my brother Eric. They were, I call this one deportation. This one is not even how you call, sugar coat, or you say the people returning. This was what I refer to in I might be wrong, but this is what I call complete deportation. The Liberians were deported. And I will play just a few bars of the video here.
To 30 years, so sorry, in Guinea, waiting for United Nations, and United Nations is here to come.
My people,
so
it's troubling.
When they come, God forbid,
you did a kind of piece on this. And let me play this for our people, just few for our people to understand here and know where we are coming from.
War is fighting, they got other things happen.
So what's your call to the Liberians?
What kept you there? Were you on?
Allah, you be taken to another country. So all of the three, all of the three that I just talked about, which one are you really anticipating from the UNHCR?
So Liberian were driven out of Guinea. Let me go to the video and then be able to. Let me play this video. I'm just going to play.
You naturalize yourself. Either you say the RRC, how you were surviving, because I can see you that you are a person living with disability. How you were surviving? How you were living? A bit, and you spend that amount of years there, and you didn't come back until the Guinea government said you should come back to your country. What did you do? What you did to the Guinea government? And they got to tell you say you must come back to Liberia.
They say I should become a citizen or give my benefit to government.
You should give your benefit to government. So what's your benefit?
It's my attestation what I get. I show that I will get benefit out of it, so I will not give it out.
Wow. So let's get to know this from you, Chief. Now that you say people say you should give your benefit, you refuse. And if we bring you now to Liberia, they say go back to your country. How do you feel living in your You are not pleased to be in your country? You want to come back to Liberia or you want to travel? Thomas. So just go to the point quickly, yeah? And let's get to know this. When you left Liberia, 1993. Okay, so now you ever learn about the entrepreneurship bringing people back home to Liberia? Okay, so
Because I'm waiting for the last mission.
the last one. What the last one says?
The last mission.
Oh, the sound. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Liberians who went to Guinea during the war, they were there. The Guinean government decided that they were going to send them back home disgracefully. There weren't any arrangement. And at the end of the day, these people were sent back home disgracefully. You carry that story. What is happening with this? Let's hear from you, sir.
Well, it is what I call this is what I will call a payback for the action of the Bouakale government to the Guinean. Let's step back a little. Around November of 2024, a Guinean by the name of Sharif was accused by the junta government in Guinea of attempting to overthrow the Guinean government, and that he was using Liberia as a base. And the fact that Liberia hosted him, it did not go down well with the Guineans. So what they did was they pressured the government to extradite Sharif to Guinea. But because the case was a snail pace and he was still in court, the Liberian government could not do that. So what the Guineans did was they sent special forces or commandos on the sword of Liberia. In fact, they removed areas in Lofa where we had the Liberian flag. They removed our flag, and the soldiers were advancing to the capital. And AFL had to be dispatched. As the result of that standoff, Liberia was compelled to forcefully extradite Sharif to Guinea. And we getting unverified information that Sharif is most likely dead. But because the Bouakale government did not carefully handle the situation with Sharif, that created a diplomatic tension. And fast forward, a Guinean citizen was physically assaulted. In fact, the Guinean government, through the foreign minister, issued a statement, and in that statement, they made mention the issue about rape, that the lady was sexually assaulted. Remember this lady? We only are privileged to see what we saw on the video, but we weren't with her in person because she went to jail and slept there. So we don't know what occurred. And the Guinean raised that issue. Liberia sent a delegation to Guinea, and that delegation went with the message of apologies, and the Guineans were clear. They rejected the apology and they need answer. So it is not surprising to see Guinea deporting Liberians. It is not a surprise. You know, it is a signal that is sending that things aren't okay. The fact that Guinea was able to send troops on Liberia soil, remove our flag, that's a declaration of war. That's a declaration of war. And now today, look at these people. Some of the people left from Liberia, the other remains at 1993. That is about 32 years ago. What is he coming back to? How did you deport him? No package, no resettlement package, nothing. He committed no crime in Guinea, and they just bundled them and they deported them. And now already our country is choked with hardship. How are they coming to get started on their feet? It's a sad story. And I heard some Liberians say, oh, this woman, Madam Bao, she was the current role. The police preliminary report or the charge sheet did not include a woman involvement in power theft. They said it was her husband. And we all know that crimes are not transferable. You don't say because the woman husband stole power or current, so that means she's also guilty. No, it doesn't work that way. So Liberians who are bashing on her, oh, the woman at current role, the police said the woman did not steal current and they charged her for quote unquote disorderly conduct because she threw an object, not even at a law enforcement officer or enforcer officer, but at a civilian. I think her was a little niece or whatever. She threw an object at her when the lady was going live with her, and she didn't feel good about that. So this is where we are, and we have to really be very, we have to be careful with how we handle the issue of what is unfolding with our neighbor Guinea, because those guys have got military might, superior military might, than Liberia. And what they have now is not a democratically elected government. So the constitution was suspended. The guys are running a junta form of government. They're not going to be rational that we should, or we expect them to be. No, they are military people in power. They don't joke. We already have multiples of problems that we are unable to solve. And to have Guinea overstep into us, then it's a setback for regional peace and stability, not just Liberia. It's a setback. It's a setback for regional peace and stability within that geopolitics of our space. It is sad that these deportees, we now call them deportees, that these deportees, I would want to have some dignity to say returnees. They were forcefully returned to their home. Let me not say deportees. They are our citizens. But why this time? It's all because of the way the Joe Biden government is handling diplomatic ties with the Guineans. And we have to be careful. We have to be extremely careful. The war that came in Liberia, it didn't start on Liberia's soil. It started with our neighbors, the Ivory Coast, the very Guinea, and then Sierra Leone. They all play part. And Braga calls himself a Sierra Leonean. He calls himself a Sierra Leonean. His strong tie with Sierra Leone might not be going down well with Guinea, because if Liberia is now being used as a sword to host dissidents who are bent on removing Demayo from power, plus Joe Braga relationship with Sierra Leone, those could be fertile grounds for insurrection in Guinea. So the Guinea are not happy. Braga went Sierra Leone and spent, I think, almost a week whining and downing, and he said he met his classmate and all kind of thing. In fact, many Liberians still hold the view that he means a Sierra Leone, because where he was born in Lofa, where Songa, it's just a stone throw. You can even spit, and then your spit will enter Sierra Leone. So we're really not sure of his citizenship as to whether he was born in Liberia or he was born in Sierra Leone. We're not sure about all those things. And he feels that he's more Sierra Leonean than Liberian. So that is strong tie with Sierra Leone, and the way his sword is now being used, to host dissident, it's not going down well with Domayo. That I can say, with the junta leader. That I can say. So our problem is compounding, and we have to be very. We have to keep an eye on that. If possible, we have to keep both eyes on that situation. Yeah. I'll stop here for now.
Your meter.
This is scaring. When I saw the video after you posted that thing, and I saw the video, and I saw Liberians, like you said, who have lived on the soil of Guinea, some for 35 years, some, up to 37 years and stuff. And these people were being forcefully kicked out of Guinea without the government of Liberia not even making any statement or even going to these people aid. Is worrisome. But my brother, Frank, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you on this. Liberians in Guinea forcefully sent back to Liberia with nothing. Some of these people are just bundled up like that. Just tell them, say, you go.
Thank you so much, Brother Prince. Like Eric said, the war that was in Liberia, right? It did not start from Liberia. It started from the neighboring country. There was one country that he left out, which is Burkina Faso. And you see, the reason why we're saying these things is because we have done the research. A lot of Liberians think that the war that was in Liberia, right, was a civil war because that's what they know in their head, all right? But a civil war cannot start in your country, right, with the involvement of other country, other nationality. That is not a civil war. The truth of the matter here is it was an international war that was fought in Liberia. And the reason why we say it is a civil war is because we were giving army ammunition, not primitive weapons, but modern weapons, all right? Also weapons, international weapons that was given to us, and we ourselves fought among ourselves, right? And then start pointing people out. So that's why in our head we think it was a civil war, right? And the truth is, right, we were not the one actually that brought an end to the war. The same people that decided the war, for the war to come in Liberia, they decided also that the war should end. And that's what it came. And I will tell you, before that war came to Liberia, and what we're saying, these are research. You can go find it out. There was a meeting in Namibia. The United Nations was there. That's why I don't like these religious leaders in Liberia. Religious leader in Liberia, they were in a meeting. All right? They were in a meeting, and AU were in a meeting. They all agreed for the war to come to Liberia because there was one entity. Now, there's not a platform that I could call our entity name. There was one entity that was behind this war, and that is why the United Nations were there. Now you know who controlled the United Nations. Now you know who controlled the AU when it comes to fundings. That is why when the war was in Liberia, AU did not come, ECWA did not come, and they were told specifically, AU and ECWA was told never ever to step there until when they're ready. All right? But that's not what I'm here for, but I'm just giving the hint. It was not a civil war. Now, and the reason why I brought this, like Eric said, the war that was fought in Liberia, we should know that it did not start in Liberia. It started from a neighboring country. And the truth of the matter here is, Liberia is gradually creating enemy. The truth is, Guinea and Sierra Leone are not in good relationship. If you've been following the story, and which of course I think I did on my YouTube channel with my American platform, I did report on it. The Guinean and the Sierra Leonean, they went into clash to the extent the Guinean army marched in Sierra Leone. So Sierra Leone don't even have the army for Guinea. The people marched in Guinea, and Madame Bio couldn't do nothing. They gave zero warning to Madame Bio. They see when they came to Liberia, remove our flag, because that is a declaration of war, like Eric said in the first place. They remove our flag. What up to now, our flag have been put back. What up to now, Liberian government have claimed that land, because the fact that they remove your flag, that land have been claimed by the Guinean government. I don't know if even it is there. Now, let's come back here to this whole issue of the repatriation, like Eric already laid down, right? Or the returnees. Now, I'm not going to explain what he just said. I'm just going to add up. You see, when things happen about that lady, and when the Liberian government sent a delegate, let me be truthful here, and we Liberian, let us open our mind here and start to rationalize things, right, on a different perspective, and put your political cap one side and speak and holistically about the nation. And I wrote on many posts, right? And I said, what make this case, the case of this Guinean lady or this Fulani and the authority of Liberia, what make this case different from the same police brutality in Liberia? What make a difference from King George? what make it different from the Liberian guy that died from power theft? They said he was stealing current. Right? Ain't happened. The Liberian guy, he died. And meanwhile, he did not steal power. He did not steal current. But the police beat him and they killed him. And nothing came from it, right? Police did not apologize. The IG did not come out to apologize to the family or to say we take responsibility. In fact, we are doing investigation. Look, Liberia, let me be truthful to ourselves here. And I ask again, what make this case different from the same police brutality that been going on? We have seen police shoot children, kids, bullet, and they die. And the police said nothing. What make this case different? Because they said the lady, how they call it, or Haja, or how they call it, was removed and all of those things, right? They naked her. Now, what I want to say here, right, it was a clothes that was taken out. But again, what make this case different from the lady that the police manhandled and naked her, stripped her naked, to the extent her breast, everything in the air, and the police had no remorse. They hold her like this, carry her up to say she was a rebel or she was something. Not what made this case different. To the extent the IJ came out and apologized. To the extent the IJ came out and took responsibility. To the extent the IJ came out and suspended the individual that was dead. And today, they send a delegate in Guinea. Now, I am not against the delegate. I even wrote on that particular post. I think it was KMTV that posted, because KMTV is the new arm of the government now, because KMTV that used to criticize President George Manuel, we are seeing KMTV talking about good about this president. Now, I'm not saying, you know, they shouldn't talk good about the president when the president do the good thing, but they have never ever criticized this government of all the ills in society or carry on by this government. But however, KMTV brought it, right? And not KMTV, but yeah, KMTV. And I wrote on there, what is so different from this case with the many police brutality that have been going on in the country? All right? Now, these people, they're not send a delegate in Liberia because they want to investigate or because they feel that they were wrong and things. They know who they were dealing with. And they know that they have touched a citizens from another country. And they know these people might come after them. And they do not have the mighty or the might or the military might, right, to fixing these people. They don't have it. You see, I keep asking, what made this case different? Liberian people, what made this case? Let's be frank with each other here, all right? Because the police of Liberia, they have done numerous, how they call it, police brutality in that country, and they have taken no responsibility of their act, to the extent a soldier man also died on duty. And up to this time, no report, no investigation have ever come out. What made this case different? Now, this is not to say what they call it, I'm going against women, right? Or to say the naked women, the days, right? No, that's not my point here. My point here is, Liberian, we should start asking, because we need to hold the government responsible. The same way the government is being responsible in this case, the same way the government is being responsible and taking this case serious and apologizing to the family and to the people of Guinea. It is the same way we need to stand up too. We have been victim of police brutality. We have been victim of the government in that country. What makes this case different? That the government have gone to this far as sending delegates in Guinea to talk about this case. Meanwhile, her own people, not just beaten, but are being dead on a daily basis. All right? When they come out to even ask their government, even students came out to ask their government about opening schools, and they were beaten and put in truck and taken to jail. People have died in police custody, and nothing have come from any Liberian. What makes this case different from the Guinean lady that was beaten, that was brutalized, okay? And it has been said now, either alleged, that was also raped in police cells, right? What make this case different? Because there have been many Liberians who have also complained of being raped in the police cell. There are many Liberians who are also died in police custody. What make this case different from this lady? That's just my question. I keep asking this question because I want for Liberian people to ask this government, why this time are they coming out, all right, to apologize, all right, to take this case seriously, to investigate this case seriously, and to the extent to send people to Guinea. Sending people to Guinea, and I like, look, the Guinean people, let me say this, Brother Eric, I don't think they disagree with the government because, you know, they didn't want to understand, or they don't want peace. They want peace. Let's be frank. They want peace. But again, they are standing out for their citizens. That mean, right? That mean, you see, let me say this. A lot of people are saying on Facebook, a lot of Liberians are saying on Facebook, what this lady did in Liberia, you can't do it in Guinea. You cannot talk to a police officer or army personnel in Guinea. Let us be frank here. You know the reason why you can't do it there? Because the people, right, they understand their law. They are constitutional abiding citizens to the extent even the security personnel themselves, they understand the law, and the people understand the law. And the people, even the police, the army, they respect their citizens, and their citizens respect them. They don't just go and just start beating on citizens. They don't just go and start beating on their people wrongfully and killing them or carrying on police brutality and those things. So that is why it is not there, because the people, the security personnel respect their people, and the people respect them. That is why you don't see it there. But in Liberia, the security do not respect the people. The people do not respect the security because the security break the law, lawmaker break the law, the president break the law. Did you see that happening under President Josh Manewia? Security breaking law and security beating people, police brutality, killing people when people come out to advocate. No, you did not see it because the government at that time respect the law, respect the citizen, and the citizen to see is necessary, needful to follow path. And that is why citizens respected. The only person I can remember at that time that did not respect the security, and the security did not react. What they saying at the call Queen Johnson when she slapped a police personnel, and because she was in opposition, because they wanted to show arm, right? They wanted for the security to do something so that they can use that as a means to create chaos. But again, we had a government at that time that was law abiding. That security personnel did not react when Queen Johnson slapped the security personnel, because we have a government that knows its function, and the people also follow for the understanding of that government and of that constitution. So in Guinea, you don't see, police brutality because, all right, maybe it may happen there, but you don't see it as in Liberia because the people understand that if a policeman said this, right, you go by it. But in Liberia, they say, oh, the woman didn't respect her, this, the woman this, that, because the woman see what's going on in Liberia. Whether you agree to the police or not, the police will still do what they want to do to you. Whether you are peaceful to the police or not under this government, they will still do what they want to do to you. And that is why we have seen many Liberians being brutalized, beaten, and killed. So this woman too, I would want to say she was afraid for her life.
Thank you so much. My brother Eric laid the premise. This is something that is really disgraceful. To find a government ignoring her people plight in this form, shape, and manner is something that is really, really, really disheartening. During the regime of President Weah, we saw what happened. When Liberians in Ghana, the Ghanaian government, said the Bujumbura camp should now be turned over to Ghanaians because that camp can no longer be used as a refugee camp. The war is over, X, Y, Z, and Z. We saw the government of Liberia under President Weah sending a team from the LRRC from Liberia to go to Ghana. to go to Ghana to go and negotiate with the Ghanaian government. I'm sorry that I'm in as voice because I'm taking care of other stuff while I'm talking here. So please, that's the reason why. So we saw a team of Liberians, authority from the El Chopo RC, going in Ghana to go and arrange with the Ghanaian authority that that true, the war is over. We will bring our people, but please let us do it in a dignified manner. And we saw that the immigration were there, people from El Chopo RC were there, they make all of the arrangement and everything. And the first batch of Liberians were brought to Liberia in a dignified manner. The second batch of Liberians that's supposed to, they're supposed to bring in Liberia, it was doing the how you call the almost doing the how you call the election period. So President Weah was able to talk to the government of Ghana that, look, my people, let's take it easy. Our people will send for them. And the arrangement and money, everything was made available so that when these people come home, they can be able to get a step in. But when the election happened, guess what? It was Joseph Numa Boyka who won the presidency. So because of that, the responsibility was upon Joseph Numa Boyka now to be able to bring Liberians back home. Even bringing the people back home, they stole the people money. You remember the case of El Triple RC, where they had to take money and give it to different people, and the real people who came from Ghana, they did not even give the people money. That was another case. Now, to see in this case where Liberians are now forcefully asked to leave Liberia and return to Guinea and return to Liberia without the government intervention, this tells you that this government is insensitive. This government does not care. How can somebody leave the country for almost 35 years, some of them 33, 30 plus years? And then you as a government, to the extent when the people were even sent, according to the clip that we have here, which I play, during this week sometime, they said nobody from El Chopo RC, that were immigration people that came to meet them to the border. Imagine, immigration people that came to collect them at the border. He said, yeah, we don't say and let me just play a few bars of this, my people, so that you can listen. There's not story that we are making up, but it is the reality right here. It is the reality. Now, just listening to this particular fellow, let's just play a small here for you.
Resettlement. Is it to give you money? You don't want to travel to another country, but you just want your benefit. Say to Remy or to carry me to another country or
Let's
to bring me
listen to
back
this
to my
woman.
country, Liberia. Now, just tell me now. The people listening to you. And then so?
You are spending the day without doing any development. So I'm not encouraged.
So let's get to know them. You have children living in Guinea that maybe you're thinking about and they are there.
Yes.
How many of them?
I have 3 children.
3 children.
Yeah, 2 are from my late sister. 1 is from me.
Okay. So now where are they?
Some of them are in the camp.
Some of them are in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Where they took you from. Mm-hmm. So tell all the process, how you were transferred. Is it that the soldier people came, they hold you, or that the police people came, they hold you by force, put you in a car and brought you to Liberia?
Police people and authorities.
That the police people. Where they brought you when they took you, they put you in their car? Where they brought you?
They brought us to the police office in Masanta.
Oh, to Masanta. Mm-hmm. And then who came for you to Masanta to bring you to Liberia?
The same police people came with us to the border.
They put you to the border.
My people, look, this want to take tears from my eyes. When we tell you on this platform, sometimes you don't believe it. Look at the woman, police people, refugee who are there in Guinea. She said that police people went for her to the camp. They bundled them to the camp. To the extent she had to leave her children because her children then run away on other side. She had to leave her children in there. When they bundled her, they brought her just to Masanta. They just put them down, read their bakara. When they put them down, it was the same police that came. Then what happened to El Chopo RC that is supposed to be responsible at least to give these people dignified life? That at least supposed to say, yeah, that what people here, we will protect them. What happened to El Chopo RC? My brother, you hear the thing the woman talking that police came for them. Amen. In Ghana, I remember it was the El Chopo RC from Liberia that went there, and I will show the video here. I will show the video here so people can be able to see. For police to go on the cam. And now I'm getting the whole picture of what Eric said. In fact, the people, they were even forcefully, and that's true, they were
Now
forcefully
send
deported.
you to the border. I know.
They were forcefully taken from Liberia, from Guinea, to see these people, my people, to see these people being treated in this form, this way and manner. Yeah, you see, here's the thing that we're talking about. In fact, while we're talking, people taken from Guinea in this kind of disgraceful, disdain manner is something that is so, I don't know, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. This is something that you would never expect. I don't think we are so evil like that. This is the picture of the woman that you were talking about. The woman that was, being ripped naked by the police and dragged. This is the picture. For our people to face such a disgrace, to run behind it. Like the woman you're talking, we just played the video. The woman said they were that police go for them on refugee camp, put them in car and can't drive them to Mansanta. Then the same police came from Mansanta, took them from Mansanta and brought them in Lofa. So what happened to El Chopo RC now? The El Chopo RC could not even intervene, that the government of Liberia could not even intervene. Like Frank, you were saying, relative to how our police treat our mothers and our sisters. This is it. And let me just play a few bars of this video. Let me just play a few bars of it here. This is the video of this identical, hey man, it's very graphic. I don't know. I hope Facebook will not be able to restrict my page. But anyway, yes,
and they are stopping. She said she'll spring there.
Yes.
So guys,
yes.
Guys, as you can see, this is what reported in Liberia. So this is what reported in Liberia.
Let me move the thing for you before Facebook. My people, here is it. When we speak on it, it's not something that we are making up. Imagine how this woman was treated by the Liberian National Police. Amen. Our people were forcefully taking. The woman said that police people came for them on a refugee camp. Her children even got to run away. So she's in Liberia while her children are in the bush in Guinea. They ran away. This is scary.
And you see, Prince,
let's
right?
just give at least one minute so we can just run up on this and we'll go to the last issue and then we can call it a day. Yeah, yes, just take 1 minute. Take 1 minute, Frank. Yeah, so because we've already hit our time.
Yeah, just to add even what you are saying, right? This means that the Guinean authority or the Guinean government are not even in any communication with Liberia. Because for you to just go, even though they are in your nation, right? But to go on a camp or to the residents of these people and then just pick them out, not communicating with that nation that, look, listen, war is over, not in your country. We want to send your people there. Communicate with the Liberian immigration. Your citizen, bring them to the border and say, okay, no, let's go. Come on, to weigh his right, his Liberian citizenship right, all right, to be a Guinean. Now, let's be right here.
Yeah, just do 30 seconds. Let's go.
They now actually force them in there.
Alive about 250,000 plus of our people. Some of the allegations that they levied against the NDPL government that was headed by the late President Samuel Kandu was that the government was being, nepotism was in the government. Well, just one set of people from Guinea County. Everywhere Guinea were taking over, according to what they said. That was the allegation. They said Guinea people were just all in the government. There were other people who were ostracized. They did not have the opportunity to politically critique the government. And they said X, Y, and Z. My brother Eric, today we are looking at a very terrible situation in Liberia, where every institution, I posted it, but because of time, I can't be able to, to read it here. Maybe tomorrow if we have the time, or any other time, or next Friday. But the entire government, like you put it in your, article, has been localized. Everywhere, Lofians are everywhere. And in fact, the Lofians that are everywhere, it cover all part of Lofa. Just a very, very minute portion of Lofa, leaving the majority of Lofia, because in Lofa, there are so many tribes in Lofa. I'm from Lofa. We get Bandi, we get Mende, we get Kisi, we get Loma, we get Bele, even though they in how you call Bapolu there, and etc. etc. We get them there. Mandingo and etc. But here is it today. The government is just being dominated by one group of people. When you look at it, in fact, most of them from Bueka Uno area, Uno end, and these are people that Bueka, to some extent, have some family tie with. What is happening in Liberia? Is this troubling or is just normal? One would say, well, that normal politics, the American, you bring your own people. Let's hear from you, my brother Eric. Sorry, you are muted.
Oh, sorry. It is not a normal thing. It is abnormal for a government to take over, specifically a government that promised quote unquote rescue, to take over and I mean, put the country at the edge of a civil unrest. When you begin to sessionalize and tribalize position, what you are successfully doing is that you are undermining the sanctity of the Constitution. Because the Constitution says people should be employed regardless of the ethnicity. Now, if you are employing people on the basis of the ethnicity, that's a violation of our organic law. And the trickle-down effect with that is that it serves as a fertile ground for instability, evidenced by the Samuel Doe government when it was being alleged that his government was infused with his crown ethnic people, and other counties were left alone. It created a serious situation in the country, and some people felt that it was unjust because the resources of our country belongs to all. In fact, there's a scripture in the Bible. It's in Proverbs. There's a scripture in Proverbs, either 3:27. It says, "The profit of the earth belongs to all." And it's the same with the state resources. It belongs to all. So when you collect the state resources and you distribute it to only people who speak the language or the dialect that you speak, and it's unfortunate to do that. It's unfortunate to do that, especially Kisi. You are right that even in the very Lofa, it is also being divided because Lofa has got about 4 tribes. But if you look in his government, it is predominantly Kisi and the Bandi. For example, the Mandingos that are from Lofa are complaining that they are not part of the power. The lawmen are also complaining. Right? And imagine just within his hometown, there are internal forces there also agitating for an equal share at the national table. What more about other counties? Specific counties that did not vote for him. Can you imagine? What is the representation of the people from Grand Coup, the people from Maryland, the people from Grand Jide, the people from Grand Basel, those candidates that did not vote for him? Look at the number of citizens that are within his government. So the government has been low-fat-ness, that I can say. That I can say. It has been low-fat-ness. If you look at the security sector of our country, it's low-fat-ness. You look at the financial sector, it's low-fat-ness. The finance minister from Lofa, the central bank governor from Lofa, and the LRA head is from Lofa. The when it comes to the security, The armed forces of Liberia, the chief of how you call it, chief of staff is from Lofa. The immigration boss, in fact, the immigration boss is a nephew to Joe Boakai. Okay, so we have a problem. We have a serious problem. Almost all the lucrative positions in the country are reserved for Lofians, and not just Lofians, but people who speak Kisi or people who speak Bandi. It is a sad thing. History has shown that any government that tread on that path is headed for destruction, for collapse, and total anarchy in the country. I do not know as to what is Mr. Boakai thinking. The problem here is that we have a president who is almost 90 years old. Forget about the years that he declared. I have seen 83 years old people look better than him. That man does not look 80. That man looks like he around 88. So this man is, my grandmother used to always say, Eric, my one foot in the grave, the other one has no business out. It's the situation with Joe Boakai. His one foot is in the grave, the other one has no business out. And when you reach that stage in life, you don't care about decision that you make anymore. Especially for a heartless man like Joe Boakai. He doesn't care. He has reached the point to say, well, my children will figure out what happened. But for him personally, he has nothing to lose. He was vice president for 12 years. Now president, he has a 6 years mandate. He been minister for years and years. He been living on the country resources for the last 5 decades. And what has he given back to the country? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it is sad. But if you look again, how do I blame Joe Boakai? We saw the man history. And I'm saying we as, collectively Liberians saw this man dreadful past. As corrupt as Samuel Doe was, as alleged, Doe fired Boakai for corruption. So if Doe can fire a man like Boakai for corruption, that tells you that corruption is ingrained within this old man. And go back to even his campaign man for over the years, Henry Costa, who left at the edge of election. Henry Costa said Joe Boakai is not only vindictive, but he's a tribalist, and he has the mindset of an elite mentality. And he has nothing to show. The man was broke, like he was never vice president. In fact, Costa said the man was living, with him. He was fueling his generator, sending him food, money, transportation, and all the kind of thing. And the very Boakai said he was willing to dance with the devil to be president. Today, he's reaping the dividend of dancing with the devil. Then he comes to us and say we should go fast and pray for the country. You don't do that. So we saw all these things. There were empirical evidence. We had credible witnesses who testify about the incompetence and the character deficit of Joe Boakai, but we still did not heed to those pieces of advice and strong warning from those people, and Liberian when they elected him. So the 20,000 or the less than 20,000 people who put us in this situation, how are they feeding? How are they feeding? It's a sad story. It's a sad story. So I mean, the question you raised about the tribalism, it is not something that will go away so easily, brother. It's not going to go away. The men packed the entire Ministry of State or Presidential Affairs with his kissy brother then. Yeah.
Wow.
Almost all he advisor in the morning, all he wants to hear is kissy. Chan chan chulu chun chun chan. All he wants to hear. Yeah, so it's where we are, brother.
Wow. It's just, it's scary. I want to play a video here, and then, Frank, before you come in, I want to play a video of Monsieur Pade, Robert Monsieur Pade, who is at IMO. I want to play this video. And Liberians, I want you to listen to this.
My wife that want to find out woman in the country. Each of the reform. I've given them document. said, Socrates said, they all said, the head of the state must be reserved for our most senior, experienced, educated edu. Yo. We're not saying this. You don't get power to buffoons. You don't get power to tarots, to rookies. And when you take the president and give it to a rookie, so we are, all due respect, you know, what's the rookie to the presidency? This is the highest office in the land. And we celebrate it, we hate this man. For what? I name Monsieur. A man grow by some woman. The man's man, what do I have personal issue? We own the country together. But this is about our country. Yeah. Mr. Weir has not been in charge. He talk most of the time in the studio singing music. When you raise issue, people think you enemy, they call you enemy, this, that. Look at what they did here. Look at the road fund. Millions of dollars corner from the road fund. When I talk only in the road fund, yeah, I wrote the American embassy or something. So don't go make caricature picture of the man. They go take, you know the kind of women I see around the world. In the country. I go into my 50, I never go to nightclub in my life. I don't know social life. I'm a media man. I will go put myself on view. I mean, what is that? You post nonsense on there. And we're talking about the road fund. I wrote now today the whole road fund is in disarray. People owe the road fund millions of dollars. And what I was saying, it was not personal, it was about the road fund was meant, when the thing was created, initiated, it was meant to implement a power in this country. President, with a
Okay, this is where I want us to listen. Let's listen to this man talking about the Southeastern domination.
Look at the way we treat our people in the Southeast. The full complement of power in this country. President, with a exception to Speaker, Deputy Speaker, with my good friend, dear brother, Kwame Kofa, and Protein, all from Southeast.
Now, I just want to stop right here. You listening to him. According to him, the Weir government was a Southeastern government. Today, look at what we have here. All of these people are from Lofa. All. And counting. I just posted it there. Where are we? Is this the change these people promise? What they criticized yesterday? And we all know that the Southeast are 6 counties make up the Southeast. Now one. It's not Grand Crew alone. Not Sino alone. We have Grand Crew. We have Sino. We have River G. Rivers, 6 counties that what make up the Southeast. And they accuse President We are even Speaker and all. They say that's how let that President We can appoint Speaker and Deputy Speaker and etc. etc. But today, look at what we are seeing. Just a Lofa, in fact, it's a portion of Lofa that is taking over this government. But my brother Frank, let's hear your closing comments, please.
Thank you so much, Brother Prince. You see, let me start with this, because he said something about the road funds in the Southeast and whatsoever, and thing that was mismanaged and thing. You see, these are the same thing that they did that brought them to power. Now, when they came, they said they established something called economic recovery team or whatsoever. So they have evidence that funds for road project were mismanaged. They have evidence. Now they're in power. In fact, they have the right, they have the power more than the opposition, because documentation are with them. Why can't they bring out these things that the past government mismanaged funds? That fund was already allocated for the southeastern road, for the northeastern road, for the western road, right? Or the western northeastern road. Let them bring those funds that was already allocated to the past government, that the past government misused, and where those funds came from. Whether it came from IMF, whether it came from World Bank, When I came from or some kind of a NGO or donation, they have access to this information. Why can't they bring it to the Liberian people so that the Joseph Boakai government can look good? Because they carry on all sort of baseless, no evidence arguments to the Liberian people. Now they in power, they can prove nothing about what they accuse the government of. I mean, these are the things that I keep asking the Liberian people. Because everything President Weah did, they said it was the country money. This man went out and advocated for Liberia. All right, in his own will, he got money. He came. He did not use it like the way Bucket using the Liberian people money, building $10 million home in 4 years, building $30 million plus dollar home in Monrovia there. Okay, using $1.2 million and buying car with it. We did not do that. We went and begged and asked for his money, for his connection. He came, he built hospitals around, he built roads around. We seen it. He built schools. Today, Boakai are presenting some of those schools in his honor, in his own honor, while he's still president. Meanwhile, he did nothing towards it. You see, so these are some of the things. For example, I think Liberian, right? Supposed to be asking the government they elected, the government they voted for. But again, let's just go back to the nepotism, that is going on within this bucket government.
Yeah, just use the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure. You see,
Please.
when I watched that their or how to call it, wedding anniversary that they were carrying on, right? When I watch it, this is how exactly, because Boakai went back to the old days, and the old days is what Boakai want to use in Liberia, right? So that the political elite, right, and the rebellious slave can go and sit down there for the common citizens, go and be working for them, looking for crumbs to eat. Because when you watch that anniversary, that is what exactly I saw over there, where you saw elite. You saw money people sitting down there, eating, having fun, breaking bread, one and thing, and then telling Liberian people, oh, tomorrow you should go and fast and pray. And then even while in a church, the whole bucket or cabinet, the whole front row that they were sitting, they all were sleeping. So everything that the pastor preached about the nation, right? They heard nothing because they were all sleeping from hangover. After
Thank you.
they ate cake, bread, and wine, and all of those things. So
Thank you so much, my brother.
We found ourselves in.
Sure. Thank you so much. My brother Eric, let's hear your parting comment. Okay, I think Eric is okay. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. It's like you are, yeah, I'm sorry that I took you off guard. But let's hear your parting comment, sir.
Well, let me say thanks for the show, and basically I think we cover all topics. It is our hope that government of Liberia will listen to these things and make amend. What I can say tonight is that with the way this government is proceeding, it's just a matter of a few months that they should brace themselves. They will obviously be hit with mass tension. Yeah, that I can say. The lawlessness in our country is at the peak, and it is becoming the way of life. In addition to the rampant stealing, the lawlessness at the peak. People just doing things according to their will and pleasure. All the president is doing is suspending. He's not persecuting. And it is a shame. So thank you for the show, brother.
Thank you so much, Eric. I really want to appreciate you and my brother Frank for taking the time to really come up here. All of you in the comment section, our salute and our respect to you. We recognize and appreciate every one of you. Maybe beginning next week, Friday, we'll always leave at least about 20 minutes so we can start to take call. Because there are 1 or 2 person comments, but we would like to participate in the calling section. Okay, so next week, at least we'll use about 20 minutes for calling segment. But I want to thank each and every one of you for your comments. Until we meet again, hopefully anytime this week or next week, we want to say have yourself a God bless day and thanks from our end. Bye.